Well, it's been a while since I've made a video, and you can probably tell by my voice that I've been pretty sick, and a lot has happened.
Yeah, it's been rough, guys.
Well, hi, I'm back in Peekaboo. What am I doing back in Peekaboo? I had to drop the other van off at this bus dealership to try and get the AC and the heater taken out from the rear of the new van. It's spliced in, or it has a valve. The whole coolant line needs to be closed. Otherwise, we're gonna be leaking it out, or it's just not gonna circulate through the van. And I need to make sure that the heater and AC in the front of the van stays intact. I did try and remove the heater, and there's two lines that go into it, and they are coolant lines, not air hoses. It wasn't until I started taking it apart and removing it that I realized, what's this greasy stuff? It's coolant. I have to have somebody professionally do that. My friends can attempt it, but it's more, there's a lot more joints than that. There's a lot more tubes than that. And I'd rather have somebody who knows buses really well just get it done right so that I don't screw up the front heat and AC for the new van. Well, hi, it's Editing Buddy, and guess what? The bus dealership up the heat and the AC in both the front and the back. But we still have that guy. Yeah, she's still there. So there's that. I'm gonna run into that Bullseye store over there, get some food, because I'm in this van and I don't even have a fridge in here right now. Everything is in my new van and they're probably gonna have it for a couple days. Probably should have thought about that. And I forgot my pea cup. I'll have to go get a new pea cup. I think we're gonna be living in this for a couple days until they sell it, which should be tomorrow or the next day, depending on when she gets her money. So, just wish me luck. Please send good vibes, because by the time you see this, it's probably all gonna be said and done. But the last 2 weeks have been hell. I've made no progress on the new van. Haven't obviously sold the old van. Cried a lot of tears. I've screamed a lot of swear words. It's been very angry and sad for me, and I haven't really had the best support. Cross your fingers for me. Say a prayer. Don't say a prayer. Swing your fist at the sky. That would make me happy. Thanks.
Fun fact about Flagstaff is that 100 trains on average go through it every single day.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. You're a good boy.
As you can imagine, this leads to a little bit of traffic in town. Okay, we've just picked up coffee. We're gonna go check on the new van and see if the heater is out of the back.
We got the heater out. It was closer to 800 than it was 6, but it is what it is. It's out. I'm just cleaning up any residue of the coolant, because of course it splashed all over, of course, but they didn't get much on my bed, maybe a couple drizzles. And then they did fix the leak up here too, so they put some sealant stuff there.
Well, it's Editing Buddy again, and guess what the bus dealership did not actually fix? The leaks. The leaks. They fixed the major one, but not all of them. No.
And the only thing is now I have 2 holes. I can see clear through to the ground. I can plug those up. This bitch is still here. But what are you gonna do? You know, unless somebody has like an extra $4,000 to get that removed. Sparrow, do you have an extra 4,000 bucks?
I do not. I don't even know what that means, and I told you before, I cannot count.
Okay.
So now we're at another mechanic, the original mechanic who actually did the alignment and a bunch of other stuff earlier this week, because they screwed up the alignment and the new van is still pulling to the right. And they're telling me it needs $1,500 worth of work, and the same parts they already replaced again. Not funny. No, actually not even a little bit. So we're not going to get that work done there. We're actually going to go somewhere else. But first we're going to go back to my friend's house and we'll deal with the pulling later, because it's going to be freezing in Flagstaff and I'm uninsulated. Meanwhile, I don't know how much longer this door is going to last. Oh, isn't this fun? This is just so much fun. And back at the friend's house, Sparrow has met the cat.
I know it's back there. I can smell that cat through the window, Mom. Oh, there it is. There's the cat. I must have that cat. Oh my God, Mom, it's moving. It's moving.
What is it, Sparrow?
Oh,
Where did it go? Did you get the cat? There too. Are you gonna be okay, Sparrow?
I really want to get that cat.
This is the Thinsulate. It comes vacuum sealed. I've taken it out of the vacuum seal. Now we're going to cut it and try to stick it into these crevices along this wall. We have This is 3M 90, and I think the 90 is what we need for this, because this is meant for polyethylene polypropylene, which is what Thinsulate is. This is about $150 for a box, 20 linear feet by, I think it's 4 or 5 feet. It's a lot, and it comes compressed, and this is going to expand as you move in the van and as you insulate it, so it'll be a week or two before it's fully expanded. They say it's easiest to install when it's most compressed, so I've just opened it up. I'm going to try to do as much as I can because that will make the job easier. But you see that there's a bunch of little compartments, and let me show you that. Compartments here in the van, they're all weird different shapes. I'm also going to be using some spray foam, which is outside right now. I have a bunch of bottles of that to fill in the little gaps in between. It's budget van life, you guys. I'm doing the best I can. So here we go. Let's see how this goes. I put the tarp down on my bed because I can't really move the bed in and out if I'm still sleeping in it. Just as a way to protect my bed from the adhesive, because this stuff sprays out like webbing. You have to shake it really good. Then I have to spray the inside. And you see with all these crevices, I'm not going to be able to spray the entire inside surface. So we're going to make do with what we got and manage it. It's cheap van life, budget van life, whatever. I don't know how long I have to shake this. It just says shake well. I'm gonna give it a good 30 seconds. I'm thinking scissors is gonna be okay. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit. That's the cool thing about this stuff, is that it'll expand, and if it overlaps, that's okay. Let's see how this goes. Don't trust anyone at Home Depot. They probably have no idea what you're doing when it comes to a van build. They're not really a reliable source to like soundboard your ideas off of. Ask questions in YouTube, or go to like Van Life Outfitters and email them. Go to the other van build companies. Like, they're usually pretty helpful, believe it or not. So I have to let this kind of dry for a second anyway until it's like tacky. So I'm gonna cut this out. If we mess up, we mess up. There's nothing I can do about that. I just had scissors and they're gone. Found them. It's very hard to cut, and these scissors are not going to do it. I guess the scissors work, but only in one direction. Then we spray this. I don't know if this is going to be enough. I have no idea. You're supposed to hold this at a 45-degree angle, and I did not just do that, so. Okay. And the black faces you, and the white goes against the metals. I really don't know how it's going to stick in there. I'm just going to have to shove it. It's a little bit more complicated. Okay. It's actually not that bad. It's a little bit weird, and I am going to definitely have to spray foam. It seems to be holding in there. Now this is all going to be covered in paneling, so we'll just see how it goes, guys. So there's wiring over here by this housing for the license plate. I'm trying to leave that so that if that light goes out, I'm able to access it again. I'm doing a half you guys. I don't even care at this point. I'm not excited about this van. You guys know that I was, and now I'm not. Doing the best we can. What we got. I'm basically just cutting little pieces and stuffing them in as many places as I can. We have to be careful of these like wire things here. There's a little wire here. Okay, so we put the glue behind it. And then spray some glue on it and try to work it in there without getting it all over everything. Which is basically doing from like this window level and down. And then I think I'm going to put polyisofoam sheets that I've already bought in the windows over here. I'm going to block out the back too on both sides, and then leave the other ones open in the back. And then there will be paneling over this, so you won't see any of this stuff. But that's, you know, it's going to look as finished as possible. And right now it's just getting bits in the crevices. And I will miss spots, and thank God it does expand, so we'll fill in the gaps. And any other gaps that are there, obviously I can just use the spray foam. Definitely recommend wearing gloves for this though. Definitely. Look. It's actually doing a lot more than I thought it would, so that's good. I think if I had a transit van and you just have those panels that are rectangular, it would be a much easier job. But because I've got this thing with all these crevices, it's not going to be as easy. And that's okay, we're just gonna make it work. Again, there's some wiring here, so I'm gonna be careful of that. We've got this door done. It's a little patchworky in there, but it will still keep expanding. And I can always like fill in any cracks or whatever with some spray foam. But I wanted to avoid any of this wiring because that's important. We need that to be accessible in case it needs to be fixed or repaired. Some in here, I'll show some in here. Yes, I'm missing some spots. It's not gonna be perfect. That's best I can do right now. I know there's all these bougie van lifers out there that have like, this is your weakest link and it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I have lived in an uninsulated van my entire 11 years as a nomad. Uninsulated cars, unkilmatted vans, unkilmatted cars, it doesn't matter. You can still do this without doing insulation. I'm just doing as much as I can with the budget I have. And I'm learning as I go, so I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. These gloves are doing a great job at protecting my hands though. I don't have any of that nasty stuff on my hands, which is great. My hands are disgusting, but that's not the point. That's all on the outside. It's all the adhesive and the glue stuff. So definitely wear gloves while you're doing this. Whether it's latex, rubber, or these rubber dipped work gloves. It will save you from skin irritation. So now I've moved my mattress a little bit over and covered that side with the tarp. I do have a little bit more kill matting that I want to just throw on the rest of what I have, and then there's stuff that we have to do behind this little drawer thing and that bin as far as kill matting. So it's going to be wiping it down with these alcohol wipes again and then waiting for that to dry, which is quick, and then just peeling that back layer off and sticking it on there. And I will attempt to finish this side with the Thinsulate, which is all over the place now. It is a little, you know, shredding to work with. It's a little difficult, but once you start using it, within the first like half hour, you start understanding how it works and how you can make it manipulate it a little bit better into these crevices. I am gonna go back and spray foam some of this stuff. Remember, this is not perfect van life. This is not bougie van life. I'm doing this on a budget and I'm doing the best I can. So we got the inside done. It's really hard to tuck this stuff in because there's not much room between this layer of metal and this outside layer of metal. There's a part of me that wants to like do this too, but I don't know if that would be good up against this. I mean, there was other Reflectix stuff that was up against this. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet, guys. We're gonna figure it out slowly, but surely. And now I'm gonna go look up how I can do this window thing safely. So wish me luck. I am running into more problems.
It's editing bunny. There's something that I really needed to discuss in this video. In the moment, I had recorded myself talking about it, and I don't feel like that's an appropriate way to discuss the topic. I did leave my friend's house and realized that he never really was a friend. Some people thrive off of other people's misery, and this is someone who apparently had a problem with that. It's a shame because I've known this person for over a decade, and it's pretty hurtful. A lot of things happened. It almost felt like he was purposely trying to inhibit my van build because I just kept seeing a pattern of like, oh, look at what I have, haha, you can't have it. This person is also an alcoholic and abusing pain meds, and unfortunately I found that out the hard way. I can't be around that kind of behavior. There were a lot of people that he seemed to bring around that he was all about praising himself and how he was helping everyone, but really just keeping them in a place of barely floating on the surface, and then saying like, oh, I saved you. And that kind of behavior is totally toxic. As if you needed a reason to cry in these times, which you don't, by the way. This has affected me deeply. And with everything that has happened with my van, with the leaks and the heater and the expensive bills and the mechanic trying to screw me over, and, you know, being out in the freezing cold, I had every right to feel the way I do. Anybody does. And everybody has their own ways of dealing with it. And as long as you're not hurting anyone else, then go ahead and feel your feelings. Cry out loud. Complain to your friends. Whine. That's part of being human, and it helps us all learn from each other and gain new perspectives. We can't gain new perspectives or learn from other people if we're not sharing our problems. And it's very invalidating when someone tells you you need to stop being so sad. And we're not going to do that. This is 2024. I will never tell you that. No one's going to tell me that. So it became a very toxic environment, especially the last straw was I was literally told by this man, women have more rights than men. Excuse me? Okay. We're done. we are done here. But it has been hell for the last few weeks, and I'm glad to say that as of this editing bunny clip, I have left and I'm doing much better. This person is no longer a friend of mine. Sometimes it takes these things to like wake you up and see the real intentions behind a person, and I just want you all to be aware of that. If it feels off, trust your guts. Just trust your guts. And it's always okay to cry. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's not. I don't care if it's in public. I don't care if it's in someone else's house. If you are feeling sad, you are allowed to feel those feelings, and no one is allowed to tell you differently. You guys have a right to your feelings, and they're there for a reason. They tell us things, and they guide us down the right path. And if we are bottling them up, then they come out in unhealthy ways elsewhere. If it feels off, leave. That's all I'm going to put in here for that.
What is this? Where are the chocolate chips? I see one and like a fraction of one. Okay, but look. This is what they're supposed to look like. This is the brand Mightylicious Brown Butter Gluten-Free Chocolate Chip Cookies. I'm sorry, what? What even is this? Like, there's not even one similarity between these two. They're even, oh wow, they're completely crunchy and gross. They're dry, crumbly, and disgusting. What are you doing? Like, what are you even doing, Carolyn?
I don't know what Carolyn's doing, but that does bring me to the end of this week's video. In this last clip, you're going to get a preview of what I'm up to next video, which is plasti dipping my rear windows. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. Don't worry, I saw somebody on YouTube doing it, so of course it's going to be fine, because I'm an expert now. There's still lots to tackle on this fan build, like handling the leaks, finishing that insulation up, doing a little spray foam, and fixing the door before I can even get into the build and design. But now that I've left that negative situation, I really think things are starting to look up. Really guys, thanks for hanging in there with me so far. I know sometimes I'm not the most positive person, but I will be the most real with you that you will probably find on any social media platform. I want you to know exactly what it looks like to live in a van, and how to build one out, purchase one, sell one, all that. And I don't want you to get out on the road and be completely in the dark about the problems you're really going to face out here. So I will see you in the next one.